Spi der Jones continues on News Talk 1010.
Hey boy, it's been a while since I've seen your face. What exactly is it that you want this time? 'Cause you only come around when you've got no one else around. Hey boy, I'm not the kind of doll you think I am. I'm a woman and you gotta respect me. I'm looking for something more complete than just a one-night stand, you see. I could be the fire that burns and
we're back, 60 minutes past 5 o'clock here at the Spider's Web at News Talk 1010. Sunday afternoon, Prita Chhabra with us. She's a singer, a songwriter, and we'll talk about your modeling experience, too. But this song here is called...
It's called What I Want to Be to Somebody. And it's my little anthem saying that these are all the things that I want to be to somebody.
And what do you want to be to somebody?
I want to be someone's life. I want to be someone's light in their life. I want to make their heart beat fast. I want to
do that just walking by people. Folks, she's beautiful. But she's got such a sincere personality. But, you're a beautiful young lady.
Thank you.
And absolutely talented, too. Life-changing experience, trip to Africa. Tell us about it and how that transpired.
Someone that I always looked up to was Oprah Winfrey.
Yes.
I used to pretend to be her. When I was a kid, I would interview my Raggedy Ann doll in the mirror, and I'd wear my mom's red lipstick.
I love it. Wow.
And so, last summer I was watching her. She had this, DVD box set thing that she had put out, and my parents had gotten it for me for a gift. And on the eve of my birthday, I watched the trip where she goes to Africa, and she did all this stuff in Africa. And again, this spark in my heart was lit, and I just started crying, and I said, I have to go. I said, I've always thought about making a difference in the world, and it's one thing to think about it, but I have to go there and do something. I don't know why I want to go. I felt like the universe or something spiritual was pushing me, telling me I have to go there, I have to go there. And then that fall, I started music school. This is right after I got my degree in psychology. I started music school that fall, and I opened up my school agenda, and right there was a flyer that said, we're recruiting students to go to Malawi, and I knew I would get picked. I just knew with such certainty I was going to be on that trip. And we got to go to Malawi, me and 5 other kids. We stayed in a rural village with no electricity, no running water, and we did grassroots level research on HIV/AIDS to see why is AIDS such a big problem in Africa. And then we came back to Montreal and we went to different schools to educate the youth about HIV/AIDS.
Why is HIV such a big problem in Africa?
I think I think right now they're getting to a point where people are openly talking about it. In the past, a lot of people there are religious, and they would go to church, and the churches would say, if you even associated yourself with HIV/AIDS, if you just even said the words, we would kick you out of this church. And I think there that people need to be a part of a community, and that fear of not being a part of a community is worse than dying, I think, to them. They really want to be involved, and togetherness is really important there. And I just think it was a lack of awareness. People weren't talking about it. They didn't want to acknowledge it.
And there's never a resolution to a problem unless you're ruthlessly honest with it. And that's one of the problems.
Exactly.
We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we got a few more minutes. I'm trying to imagine you there in this is this South Africa?
Sub-Saharan, so it's a little bit.
What is it? No running water.
No, none of that stuff. Now, I had never even been camping before, so this was a big change for me, and I kind of went into this survival mode, and it really made me realize how much of my life here in the West I was taking for granted.
We'll talk about that when we come back, and what's on the agenda for you. Prita Chhabra with the lovable one, Spi der Jones at 5:20. Quick break here on News Talk 1010.
You're listening to Spi der Jones on News Talk 1010.
Minutes past 5 o'clock here on News Talk 1010. Spi der Jones, my special guest, Prita Chhabra, and this particular song was taught to you in Africa.
Yep. It was amazing. When I went to Africa, I didn't have a lot of the confidence that I knew that I needed to pursue a serious career in singing, and someone heard me singing on a bus in Africa, and they taught me 3 songs in Chichewa, which is the language that you hear. And then they let me sing in their church. They let me sing for members of parliament in Malawi, and then I got to sing for the whole village before we left. So it was amazing.
Amazing, yeah.
Yeah.
How long were you there for?
2.5 weeks.
2.5 weeks, yeah. And during that time, no running water.
Yeah.
Were there? I don't want to get personal, but were there laboratory facilities?
There was a hole in the ground. That was my toilet.
Wow.
I had a little pail of water to bathe with while cockroaches this big stared at me everywhere.
How big? Oh, really?
This big. They were big cockroaches, yeah. And I just...
Did you run across any wildlife? Were there any lions or any leopards or anything?
I didn't see any. I didn't see when I was there, no.
What were the people like?
Amazing, warm, welcoming. I was the first kid to get out of the bus when we got to the village, and the whole village, everyone was just standing there. Mm-hmm. And I don't know what happened to me, something just overcame me, and I just went and I hugged the first lady I saw, and it just broke down the whole wall and barrier of, you know, they were probably wondering what we were like, we were kind of wondering what they were like, and everyone just started singing and dancing and laughing, and they just welcomed us so warmly, and everywhere we went, every hospital, every orphanage, everywhere we went, people were singing and dancing and clapping and just waiting for us to get there. So.
And you've been on Entertainment Tonight?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
And you have an event, what is that, Canada Week? Or?
It's CMW, Canadian Music Week, and I've been picked this year to perform there, so I'm really excited.
Where's that going to be, in Toronto? Or?
It's in Toronto, yeah. They have a 4-day conference going on, and there's about 500 bands that play. And all over Toronto, so I'm one of the people picked this year.
Do you have a website where people can get in touch with you?
I do. It's pritamusic.com.
What is that? Prita?
Music.com.
Now, Prita's P-R-I-T-A. P-R-I-T-A, pritamusic.com.
Yep.
Well, we're pretty much out of time. Anything else you'd like to add to this?
Just thank you for having me on the show, and I just hope that my talk here with you today inspired people to follow their heart and listen to their dreams, so...
I like
it's
that.
It's worth it. Trust me, it's worth it.
Folks, and people that listen to the show know that I do a lot of motivational seminars and workshops, and I tell you, that's inspiring to hear that you, from the time you were 8, 9 years old, knew that you wanted to be a singer, and here you are now singing all over the world. You've got a CD out. You've been on Entertainment Tonight. You've been interviewed by many of the major stations in this country. All these things because you developed that self-confidence.